I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into the heartfelt words and reflections of Chuck Worthy in his amazing book, An Honest Christian Poet. In the dead of winter, I have seen a wondrous thing. This collection of poetry offers an unfiltered look at life's struggles, joys, and deep-rooted faith, revealing the author's unique journey from a Navy background to heartfelt poetic expression. Join us as we explore the profound thoughts and experiences that have shaped this remarkable journey. We're delighted to have this very talented author and poet join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Mainspring Books for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful work. The links are below this interview. Chuck, great to see you. Thank you for joining me here today on Spotlight.
Well, it's a great honor to be on your program. I really appreciate it.
Your words seem timeless in a way. I have seen a wondrous thing in the dead of winter. Really beautiful. What is it that you saw in the dead of winter that was so wondrous?
Yeah. Well, what I saw was the beginning of the next cycle of life. It was bone-chilling cold, snow all over, and there, even in the midst of all that, the beginnings of the buds of the spring were already there. They were already evident. So it really, to a certain extent, gives you hope that, no matter what, if you look, you'll find the beginnings of something better.
And that's a beautiful way to look at life, that every end is a new beginning. And it really keeps you focused on what's positive, what's good, and what's right.
Absolutely.
This book is very personal. In a way, it's a memoir through poetry, don't you
It
think?
is. It is most definitely. It's a part of my journey, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the marvelous, and to read it and understand it is to know me.
Yeah, absolutely. And for you to write it and to put it out there, I think is to know yourself. I mean, because I think it's a
Mhm.
self-reflexive type of exercise as well, which is great. You've got a beautiful voice.
Oh,
Have you
thank
thought
you. Thank
about recording this as an
you.
audiobook yourself? I think it'd be wonderful.
I will take that for action.
Okay, good. No, you absolutely. You've got a beautiful speaking voice, and I think it would be a terrific audiobook. Do you have a poem handy that you'd
Mhm.
like to share with us, perhaps?
Sure, why not?
That'd be great.
I don't really memorize all my work.
Yep.
Oh, okay. This is a good one. Just opened up to it. It's
Perfect.
called it's called To Have You. It's to my wife, the beautiful and talented Linda Worthy. It starts off, To have you is to have heaven. You are the one and only, my prize, passion, and glory. How I long to touch you, to love you and only you. I sit and think of you. I bring you to mind, and a flame erupts in my heart. I burn with passion, and my chest tightens. My breath becomes in short gasps and sighs. My pulse quickens. My mind is aflame thinking of you. Your image floats in my mind, fanning the flames, and I am consumed. I want to touch you, to feel you, to touch your heart, feel the softness of your perfect skin. You take hold of my mind and seduce my soul. You lead me through the portals of love, drowning me with heat, passion, and desire. I am dizzy and collapse at your feet, begging for more. Oh, to have you is to have heaven.
Wow, that is so beautiful. Your wife must be so honored to have you write such beautiful poetry about her.
Well, she is my muse, and a lot of
Hmm.
my poetry is directed towards her. And also on my journey, uh, during the darkest times of my journey, and there were dark times, she was there, constantly helping me. You can make it, you can do this, you're capable.
It's the importance of having a strong partner with you in life.
Hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that's the
Absolutely.
magic of having a great wife or a great husband to help you through the dark times, to see the light when you don't, and to encourage you. And it's wonderful that you have that in her. So God
Absolutely.
bless you both. That's wonderful. It
Hmm.
seems faith is very important to you, and I find that a recurring theme in your
Hmm.
poetry. Tell us a little bit about the aspects of faith that people will find in your work.
Well, it's without faith, life is very nearly meaningless because there's no positive end to it. And faith helps us because we know something better is coming. We know that no matter what, that God is there for us. He's going to help us as we go through the fire, as we go through the flood. And we do go through the fire and we do go through the flood. But he says, you're not going to drown. You're not going to be consumed. I will help you. And that's an amazing thing. And it helped me to develop another concept of in difficult times or fearful times where I have an internal mantra that says, don't run from this. Don't
Mm.
run from this. Don't run from this. Because if you have faith, you don't need to run from it. You can face it head on. You can dive into those chilly, churning, boiling waters, or run through that burning house, not literally, but but maybe literally
In some
sometimes.
cases, literally, yeah.
Yeah, in some cases, literally, and know that you can make it.
Yeah. Wonderful. That's a great mantra. I think we should all adopt that.
Mhm.
Mine's similar. I basically just tell myself, I got this. I got this.
Absolutely.
And you have to have that affirmation to let you know
Mhm.
that no matter what the obstacles are, you can clear that hurdle. Let's
Absolutely.
talk, let's talk about the range of
Mhm.
subjects that you
Okay.
explore in your book.
Okay. Well, we live in a big world. We live in a big, complex world, and one of the sections of the book is on love, and a lot of that is directed towards the beautiful and talented Linda Diane Worthy, my wife, my muse, my passion. Um, Another part is on life in general, because life is hard in some cases. It can be grueling, it can be challenging, it can be marvelous, it can be wonderful. And we have to be able to absorb all of that. And at the risk of sounding strange, there's a video out with it's Sylvester Stallone. He's talking to his son and he's saying, nothing is harder than life. Nothing is going to knock you down harder than life. But conceptually, the issue is how many times can you get up?
Yeah.
And I remember my father, once I had a fractured wrist when I was in seventh grade. And this is a small thing, but I didn't want to take out the trash because my wrist hurt.
Mhm.
And and this is a guy who lived through war and in Vietnam. He was there during Tet of all things.
Mm.
And he just looked at me and said, are you unable to do this? And that's a different story from
Mhm.
do you want to, are you unable? And I said, no, I'm not unable. And he says, well, go do it. And I
Yeah.
did. So that's a small thing, but still, it sticks with me now. Are you unable? Because maybe sometimes you are unable, and sometimes we have to face that reality. But sometimes we have to face reality that we don't want to do it, or it's frightening, or it's disturbing, but we still need to jump into that thing.
Well, it sounds like you have a great cheerleader in your wife and a great coach in your dad. And so
Absolutely.
that's a great combination to have
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
sure. You also served our country. You were in the Navy. Tell us how that
Right.
has influenced your life, influenced
Hmm.
your work. I know it's taken you to far reaches of the world,
Hmm.
and that
Hmm.
has to affect you as a person as well.
Absolutely. Wow. In the military, you learn who you are, especially in boot camp. You learn a lot about yourself as you're being drilled and basically, run into the ground and taken beyond what you think your normal capabilities are. So you learn a lot about yourself. You also learn about yourself within a larger system, because it's a big team. And the great thing about that is you always know who you are, you know where you fit, and you know what your job is. And and this is maybe the greatest thing about the military, you're never alone.
Mm.
There's
Yeah.
always, your shipmates and the other people that are in your unit that not only will, but are more than willing to come alongside and help with whatever the issue is that you're having an issue with, that you're having a problem with. So that's a big deal. And the thing, and also, yeah, that you can go further. I mean, there were times in the Navy where uh, with what I was doing up in Adak, Alaska, and Argentia, Newfoundland, where sometimes we would work for maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, 30 hours straight because what we were doing was critically important and it had to get done. And there's no running away from that.
Mm.
Again, there's no running away from it. you have to, you know, you can take breaks or whatever you need to do, but you have to stick with it. And you know, and I brought that out with me, you know, and sometimes I think of my father, um, you know, with his time in Vietnam, you know, as a hospital corpsman, no less. And sometimes I think of him tending to a wounded Marine because he was with Marines, and you know, he's tired. They're under fire. There's explosion. There's gunfire, and he's patching these guys up on the field of combat. And he's tired, right? And he's getting up and running to the next Marine and to the next one and to the next one to try to save their lives with really no thought of his own personal safety or that infamous question that comes into mind, am I too tired to do this?
Mm. Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing the lessons learned in the military. I think in many ways it would be
Hmm.
great if everyone in this country had to serve their country as a mandatory aspect of their
Hmm.
lives, you know,
Oh,
whether
I
it's a
agree.
draft or whatever it is, because we all need skin in the game. You
Hmm.
know, we all can't be saying, send them there to fight. Let's fuel
Hmm.
this war. Let's fuel that war.
Right,
We all have
right.
skin in the game.
Hmm.
Wait, that's my son. That's my daughter. That's
Sure.
me. You know, I
Yeah.
don't want to go. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
So it's amazing that it's a remarkable
Hmm.
phenomenon, and saying thank
Hmm.
you for your service to yourself and your dad is inadequate, because it's amazing
Hmm.
the strength that you show, the determination you show, and the selflessness that you show,
Hmm.
and that reflects
Absolutely.
in your work, of course. Let's talk a little bit about
Mhm.
Worthy Music Ministries. Tell us about
Okay.
that.
Okay. Well, Worthy Music Ministries was developed by myself and my wife, Linda Worthy, actually in Vallejo, California, where, you know, we were thinking about, you know, Christian artists and, you know, so many of them. And sometimes there's not many opportunities for them. And at least in those days, in the early 80s. Or the late mid to mid 80s. And you know, when we were sitting talking to some musician friends of ours, and my wife, you know, the beautiful and talented Linda Diane Worthy says, shouldn't there be an organization that creates opportunities for Christian artists? And
Mm,
so that was the beginning of it. And you know, just to move quickly forward through time, you know, then we're producing music programs for municipalities, for cities, for churches, for different organizations. Then got out of the Navy and came up here to Washington State.
mm,
Although I'm from Virginia,
yeah.
my family's from North Carolina and Virginia, so I say I live here, but I ain't from here. Even though we lost our Southern accents in the Navy, but you know, and then we came up here and we became, you know, through God's grace, one of the largest Christian ministry organizations. We hosted and produced the annual Washington State Christian Talent Contest for 18 plus years, typically 300 contestants, songwriting, dance, mime, acting. You know, that's why we called it ministries plural, because we wanted to take into account all of these different artistic disciplines.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds like a wonderful organization, and it's still
Mhm.
going strong, as I understand it, correct?
Well, it's changed over time. It's changed over time because of, you know, work, health.
Hmm.
You know, I've developed leukemia, and my wife has
Sorry.
lateral trigeminal neuropathic pain. So we're not as active and not physically as active as we were before, but we're doing a lot of work with things like the City of Ording's Harvest Festival, and things of that nature.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for your work there. And thanks for putting out this beautiful book. It's called An Honest Christian Poet. In the Dead of Winter, I Have Seen a Wondrous Thing. It is a collection of poetry that offers
Mhm.
unfiltered looks at life's struggles, joys, and deep-rooted faith, revealing the author's unique journey from a Navy background to
Mhm.
heartfelt poetic expression. It's a wonderful book. You'll love these poems. They'll make you reflect upon your own life, your own challenges, your own faith, and your own loves. And that's the work of a wonderful poet. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
No, thank you. It was an honor to be with you today.
Honored to have you on the show. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.